Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in on another episode here on YouTube regarding photography. Today, as you can see, I got new microphone. All right, it's a new wireless mic. Hopefully it improved the sound quality for my YouTube videos, because I know my first YouTube videos was told for sound quality could get a little bit better. So big shout out to all my videographer friends out there who who are truly thoughtful and give the recommendations, suggestions. So I truly appreciate that. I actually went and purchased this on Amazon. So it's 40 bucks, made by a company called, I think it's FIFINE or FIFINE. So it's a wireless mic. All right, so it's not a mounted camera mic that I had last time, my first couple YouTube videos. The first one that I had was like a Rode mic. It's mounted on camera, so you can still hear static noise or something like that. So hopefully this is a bit better. So as you can see, I don't do video. I'm not a professional videographer either. So they're two different animals. All right, I only focus on photography, and that's what I know best. That's why I don't offer video, because as you can see, I don't know anything about it. So today we're going to be talking about, actually cameras. All right. So I have a lot of friends who, reach out and ask, "Hey, Tuan, what's your recommendations for what camera should, I purchase if I'm doing this, or if I'm going on a trip? What's a good camera?" Or I have some friends like, "Hey, Tuan, what's a good camera for kids?" Or, "Hey, Tuan, what's your recommendation to, me getting into professional photography? What camera do you recommend?" So I actually have 3 cameras in front of me. These are the 3 that I currently own. And they're, as you can see, different form. So we're gonna go over it, but I'm gonna share my thoughtful, feedback in terms of what camera that you guys should get, or also share what I actually use on my everyday photography. So then hopefully you guys can learn and see something and from this, and maybe make your own judgment, your own recommendation for what you should get. All right. So let's go straight into it. A lot of friends, like I said, ask me what camera is important. So before I give my feedback or anything, I always ask the question back to them. I always ask them back, what is it that is important to them, or in this case to you, in terms for photography? What is it that you want to capture? Is it allowing you to take more photos, or is it the picture quality that is important to you? So once you have identified what is it that you want to have to do with photography, I think that's the next step. Once you answer that, then it'll be easier to pick and choose. So for example, let's start in the beginning. So if your answer is, hey, regarding photography, I just want something that it's easy, portable, lightweight, that I can take pictures, and picture quality, as long as it's sharp and clear. I mean, it doesn't have to be so professional, but easy enough so I can post on Facebook here and there. What's your recommendation? If that's the case, I would recommend phone camera. Right nowadays, phone technology have gone so far, and also the cameras too. So that means you can take some really nice, stunning images with, phone quality, cameras. So recently, I actually took a trip, my family trip, to Japan, Singapore, and also Thailand. On that trip, I have my mirrorless camera with me. This has been my go-to camera for all my vacations, trips, and whatnot, because it's portable, it's lightweight, and I would bring this everywhere I go, and I value picture quality. But once on that trip, the first day, actually, I bought this with me, thinking I'm going to do everything, the whole trip with it. The first couple of days, I did take it with the camera, but I found out it was just so hard to lug it along, especially when I have 2 boys. So I'll have, holding one and trying to, take with this and messing with the settings and the menus. It was just not very convenient for me. And so on that trip, right after the first day, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do everything with my phone, because I have it with me. I mean, we carry this everywhere we go, right? So I started taking pictures of everything with this thing. And after the trip, I was stunned, because in terms of the photograph, it was actually really good. It actually took everything that I wanted, from beach photos, some night photos, food photography, and a lot of pictures of the kids too, right? And landscape too. So I went and tested it and said, I'm gonna try taking all the phone, and of course I edited afterward a little bit too. But I was really happy with the picture quality, at least satisfied for Facebook usage, for phone picture quality. So for those of you who are looking into what camera do I need, I say start out with the phone. I think phone nowadays are so good. Of course, a couple of years back, they're not as great, but technology has gone so much, far in advance, that it's really good now for phone quality photos. So, you don't want to spend on high-end cameras or anything like that. Start taking with the phones, okay? Picture quality turns out actually really good. But what I would say is actually focus your energy on like an editing software afterwards. In this case, I use like Lightroom Mobile, or I use Snapseed. Okay, so I use that to kind of edit my photos afterward. Of course, taking it right on camera sometimes might not be as great, so I always edit all my photos. So maybe that is something that I would invest in versus getting a new camera. Okay. So phone quality is pretty good. Then the next lineup, if you are, your answer earlier, what's important to you, if you value, picture quality, but also that want a little bit portability, then maybe a mirrorless camera is what you're looking for. Also, you have to ask yourself whether you have time too. So if you say, hey, camera, I want nice quality, but I also want portability, and I also have a lot of time to compose and take my photos, then the mirrorless is the way to go. And this is something I still use today. I used to actually use this a lot prior to having kids. As you can see, on all the trips, all my fiance and I that we go, we would use this. We'd use this in Spain, we'd use this in Italy. We literally bring it everywhere we go without, prior to us having kids. Because why? At first, I have time to take the photos with me. And also I value picture quality. So of course, this is better than has a better sensor than the phone, but so picture quality is definitely superior. So that is something that was important to me at the time. So that's why I used this, and it was really great. As you see, lightweight, and technology for these have gone far too, because in fact, I think Sony just recently launched their new mirrorless. I think it's the 7A4 or something like that. It's like 60 megapixel. All right, so new cameras are coming out every single year, and for sure be looking out, because I think this is the future moving forward is mirrorless. So a lot of manufacturers, including Canon, Nikon, and other manufacturers coming out with their own mirrorless line, just because the portability, everybody's transferring to this. So if you value picture quality, portability, and then you actually have time to compose the photos, then I recommend this. The picture quality is really good, and you can get it from any manufacturer. This mirrorless is actually from Fujifilm. I liked it just because, of course, it looked classic, so I like it. It kind of make it look retro, so that's why I kind of like it. In addition to, they have some really great lenses, and the quality glass that they produce are really good. Picture quality is great on this camera as well. So that's my recommendation. But if you value, like, let's say, picture quality and somewhat portability, but then you don't have time to take the photos, then man, I recommend not even getting one of these, because if you're gonna buy it and not take it, then it's just gonna store on the shelf, then you're not really utilizing it. And taking pictures, I recommend buying something so that way allows you to photograph. Like, let's say for me, I value picture quality too, but because it doesn't allow me to take the photos or compose the shot, then I'm taking it with my phone right now. Okay, so that ask yourself those questions. And then third is like, hey, Tuan, I value picture quality, and I don't care for the portability. I just want the best of the best image glass. And I would suggest something very high end, maybe a DSLR professional grade, or maybe the highest end version of the mirrorless. Nowadays they have a lot of, in fact, a lot of my professional photographer friends out there are actually using mirrorless, but they're highest end cameras out there. And you can get a DSLR. In this case, I started out with a Canon, and since upgraded this is a Canon 1D Mark II along with the 70-200. So this is definitely a professional grade for weddings or portraits or anything. And I love this thing a lot. The image quality that it produces is like, it's stunning. This is what I charge people with, of course. So I love this thing. As you can see, it looks kind of cool just holding it, right? So, or maybe you might just want a camera just so that way you can look cool. So maybe not even taking photos. You can get one of these. Just kidding. But yeah, if you value picture quality and you don't mind the portability of it, carrying around heavy cameras, this thing is the best you can get, or the highest end to the mirrorless. But remember, even mirrorless, the high end, they can have some really nice glass that are very heavy too, so that's very similar to the DSLR line. So that's that. If you value picture quality, I suggest something this, but all in all, what I'm trying to say, also is, sometimes it's not also the camera equipment, that makes you a better photographer. Sometimes it is you that's being, able to capture the photos. And another element to just taking the photograph is you gotta be able to process it on the back end too. So I suggest, first off, getting a camera that allows you to take more photographs. So whether it's, a phone, a mirrorless, or a professional grade, and then develop more of your time and energy on learning photography. That means learning composition. That means learning lighting, learning, the different condition, or where or when or what setting to take a good photograph. Invest your time and energy into that instead of worrying, because new cameras coming out every year. Stop trying to chase the new shiny thing, because that does not make you a better photographer, okay? I've learned that. I started out, keep on upgrading because I like owning the gears, and I, that didn't really help me. What really helped me was me learning, studying other photographers' work, looking at that, and then the other element, in addition to learning photography, is also learning how to edit and process your photos too. Even on the camera phone, like I mentioned, every photos that I take, I actually edit them on a software. In this case, the software that I use for my phone is Snapseed and Lightroom Mobile. Okay, so I would use that in all the photos to edit and process to make it look even stunning, because as you know, a lot of time when we take the photograph in camera, on camera, sometimes the picture doesn't come out great right away, and you would have to edit it on the back end. So two things to consider is learn how to compose the shot, learn how to photography, learning how to take the photos, and then the other thing is learn how to process and edit them afterward. And that to me is more important than, hey, Tuan, what camera should I invest in? But of course, if you're thinking about portability, of course, ask yourself that question first to decide what camera to start. And then once you start from that, you can literally take some really nice studying with phone too, and then build up on learning photography, build up on learning processing it, and then start gradually upgrading to the camera. I started out just wanting something really nice to, because then it looks so cool. I want to be cool like one of those guys out there. So me starting out, I already wanted something super nice. But now looking back, you don't really need something like this right away. You can start out with the phone and gradually build the way up. And then in terms of upgrading cameras, if you're not doing it professionally, I say get something solid, like even an entry-level mirrorless, and you can stick to that. You don't really need to upgrade your gears every single year or so, because like I said, it doesn't make you a better photographer. Like for, what is it, for me right here, this is an XT10. Right now there's an XT30. As you can see. So I'm not really trying to chase the gears after gears, but I do have to say this though, in terms for doing it professional, then yes, I try to refresh my gears, every so and then, just make sure we stay current, and I also provide my clients the best image quality that's available in the market. But even with this, I don't lug around to vacations, to crazy big parties or anything like that. Why? It's so heavy. I invest my energy and time to really pick something that allows me to take the photo right away, to document it, because in the end, that's what all you have to look back at, right? So maybe that is important. Buy something or invest in something that allows you to take the photos more. Not buy something so to have it and then you leave it there, not taking the photograph, because then you kind of not serve its purpose, which is the cameras to take the photos. So be thinking about that, all right? Now looking back, like I said, if I were to start from scratch all over, I would start with my phone first, and then I would learn photography. Just start with this, use the portrait mode, edit the photo, and then if I'm comfortable with that, hey, maybe I'll get something, a nice entry-level mirrorless camera and stick to that. Because if I'm not doing it professional, then, I don't really need this high-end, because nowadays, like I said, mirrorless, the picture quality is actually really good too. And if, I have tons of money, I hit the lottery and, extra money, then yeah, why not buy something that is, nice, maybe use it as a prop, I'm just kidding. But yeah, if I have a lot of money, I'll, definitely spend something like this. But if not, I'd say a good, small mirrorless is good. Or you don't really need a camera, like I said. Maybe a phone is fine for what you need. Just invest in something, to edit them, like filter them afterwards. So that concludes the topic of discussion for today. I hope you like it, and I hope you find something useful. And feel free to tune in for my next YouTube video. Or if you guys have any additional topic that you want me to go over or discuss, let me know. Also, let me know how this mic worked, all right? Whether you were able to hear me from beginning towards the end, and if you think it's worth that $40, all right? I'll see you in my next YouTube video. Take care. All right, bye.